Good morning, you guys.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Real Talk with SLR.
How are you guys doing today?
Well, you guys, it's a bright, sunshiny, kind of warm day today for December, to be honest with you.
Yep, it is a little bit sunny and warm and whatnot. It is supposed to get extremely windy today, though.
Yeah.
Like, extremely windy.
Yeah, and yesterday it was rainy. Day before that it was rainy. So, I don't know. The weather's been kind of flip-flopping around, but we've got a nice one today.
Yep. So,
today we are going to get back up over at the Mudroom builds. Albeit, I'm not sure how much boards we're going to be smashing together. Now, hear me out. We are ready for the rafters and to start working on the rafters. I know, so exciting. But we have a lot of measuring to do and prep work to do before we can actually start putting up the rafters.
Yep.
So today might literally just be a measuring day.
It might be.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to get the rim board up.
I would too.
Just so I can see what's what, you know?
Yeah.
But we're going to be doing a lot of, I feel like a lot of back and forth.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Up the ladder, down the ladder, up the ladder, down the ladder, over here, over there. Yeah.
Mainly because, I mean, I want to try to get it to where, you know, it's 100% good to go.
So,
you know, to where we're rocking and rolling.
Yeah, so when it's time for us to throw up the rafters, we can just get it. Yeah. And then also we could do all the prep work of cutting those rafters, like to size and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And getting it, excuse me, and getting it kind of like pre-ready.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we've got a very busy day ahead of us. If it ends up being a measuring day, I am going to be recording today, and I'm going to attempt to put out a vlog for y'all for tomorrow. If it ends up being a measuring day, then we'll make it an educational measuring day.
Yeah.
And we'll, you know, the video would be a lot of that, and it'll be a lot of talky. But I don't know how it's going to go until we start going after it. So,
yeah, because I mean, today, we're going to be doing a lot of back and forth. I do want to start measuring the roof.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so we can start getting our metal figured out.
I can measure half of the roof.
Yeah.
As of right now.
Yeah.
You know, and get that finalized and get that on paper.
Mm-hmm.
So I know exactly what's what and everything else like that. And then I have to get up there and I have to measure.
Yeah.
I have to measure out that side and find the middle point because the mudroom is off of the middle point of the house, no matter what. So the roof should be on the middle point of the roof.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
So maybe today, with all of our measuring today, since we will know exactly how high we need to put up that like ridge beam, we should know about how long those rafter boards should be.
We should have, by the end of it, we should be able to be like, okay, this is what we need to do.
Yeah.
Ideally, I would like to get all that, plus the ridge board up, plus a template for the full going into the valley of the house. Now, once we get to the valley of the house going up, that's where it's going to be a little confusing in the sense of like cuts.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how to show you guys, but if you're on an angle like this and you're trying to get something to be at an angle, but then that also is at an angle, you're not just cutting it in plane of a 2x4 like normally. You're now putting almost like how we did the 45 on the
I was literally
45,
just thinking
exactly
about
in
that.
that same exact aspect, but it's a better angle because it's not going to be, you know, that much.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm trying to get all those numbers exactly where I want it to be and plan out and paint out and just make it perfectly to where all the overhangs match.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's a lot of numbers, a lot of back and forth, but...
And this part, Gary unfortunately had to wait for me to be able to be ready to work with him. And I have just had so many other things that I've had to be dealing with off camera and stuff. I haven't had any time to set aside to work with Gary. But the reason why he needed to wait for me is because it's such a long span. And it just makes life a whole lot easier to have somebody holding the measuring tape for you.
Then to have to read the measure and come to find out that you're off by like 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 an inch or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like 3/4 of an inch because it slipped and it caught somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, It's one of those frustrating things of measuring wise when it's like, and I could tack a nail down and I try to hold it that way, but then
It's
it
okay.
never fails.
It's
it
okay.
always slips.
We've been super busy, friends. I mean, I haven't even posted here on Real Talk in like a week. The last thing I posted, I think, was when I was driving into town with Julia to do her braces and stuff like last week. So I guess I can give you guys a little update. We can go back a little bit. So Julia's braces are all good to go. She's super happy with it. The colors look great on there. The following day, we had a day in between, and then we had the following day, I was able to take Scarlett in to deal with her buckle fracture on her wrist. And we got it a second opinion at an orthopedic, and the orthopedic did see like the tiniest little fracture inside her wrist, but her elbow was completely cleared. They have better x-ray tools and stuff over there at the orthopedics than they did in our small town's ER. And so to make a long story short, they ended up not hard casting it because the break was so minute that they ended up giving her a hard splint or whatever, right? It's called a splint.
Splint, yep.
Yeah. And so it's like a hard brace that she's wearing, and she has to wear it for basically until New Year's. And then she should be in the clear. So I did have to do all those errands and stuff with Scarlett, and, kids are having fun. They're being kids, and she seems to be in a lot better spirits. She's not in very much pain, at least visibly. So there's that. And then immediately after that, then our friend Des came to town, and she was out here visiting this whole last weekend. So we were visiting with her and having a lot of really good times. A lot of really good, big conversations are happening. She's picking our brain. It's no secret that she wants to do some shed to houses. She's already put that out there on her channel. If you guys don't know who or what we're talking about our very good friend Des with Des Crazy Life. I'm going to put it down in the description below, but we also put out a video yesterday, kind of with a little bit of our visit.
Yep.
We had such a good visit with her though, that we visited all weekend, and it was Sunday when I was like, I should probably pick up a camera, Des. You got to go home tomorrow. And I want to put you out here. And yeah, we just had a really wonderful time, but there was a lot of really big conversations happening. She was picking our brain. We're doing our best to help her out behind the scenes with numbers and, just things that worked for us and things that may work for her. Mm-hmm. And then she also was talking with the different Frambam, things that worked for them that may work for her, things that, so she can have all these options, like a big buffet, right? And then take what she wants and then forget what she doesn't, because it's her journey and it's very exciting. Yeah. So it was really good to be able to spend time with our friend this weekend and kind of cheerlead and hype him up a little bit, get excited for him.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It was a really, really cool time.
Yeah.
It was fun being able to hang out with them and see them, and it was a lot of camaraderie.
Yeah. And hear their ideas, and it's kind of it's fun for us too, because we've been on this journey out here in Arkansas now for about 3 years. Yep. And it takes time. Me and Gary had a 5-year goal when we moved out here, and it was to raw property. And in 5 years, we're hoping to have our homestead situated. Now, I'd say we're 70% there, because all of our yard stuff is pretty much where it's going to be. And we did want to take the time to focus on those things. So that way in the middle of us finishing out our house, we can still live for the goal of self-sustainability, which is a huge part of the goal of doing all of this. Yep. And so, so we got our animals all taken care of. We're not really going to have to deal with anything over there. We just get to continue to raise the meat and do the gardening and reap the benefits of that while we maintain our focus on continuing to build our cabin. And, had we not moved into the basement, maybe we would have focused more on just the cabin and finishing it all out fully. But at the point of us moving into the basement, there's life things that happened. I got really, really sick. We really needed the space and just morale, honestly. We needed the morale of having a better living conditions than just a camper trailer, I guess, to give us that oomph to keep going and make life a little bit better. Yeah. Make life a little bit better for all of us, instead of having to shower in this tiny little, brush teeth and sit on the toilet at the same time. Now we have a bathroom, and
No.
cooking is easier. The kids are happier. We're not all on top of each other. We're a very close family, but sometimes, when you're living in a camper and you're very, 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 very close, it can kind of drive you nuts sometimes. So this was a necessity, in my opinion, moving into the basement. But if we didn't do it that way, if we did it maybe differently, maybe we would be different on our cabin. But it's been a journey, and I know that within the 5 years that we had talked about, that it should all be done.
No.
And none of our materials are rotting or going bad as of this point that we can see. We check it often, and I'm just really excited to get that much closer to finishing the outside. Once we can get like the roof on the house and we feel a little bit more secured about the actual structure of our property and our home, I think we'll all be able to take that big sigh of relief.
No.
I think that all of us will be able to just kind of, okay, well, let's keep going.
I don't think I'm gonna have that sigh of relief until it's done. But
probably not, but you know what I mean. Like, at least a big chunk of it'll be taken off,
No, I hear you.
For me, like, once we finish all of the exterior, because I get to a point, and we got to this point before, when we were working on the blocks, and even before the blocks, when we were just getting the ground prepared for our foundation, for the concrete company, when we were digging and digging and digging, you get to a point where it's like, you're just so exhausted of the one step that you're on. You're just so done with it. I'm just so done. I'm just over it. I'm done.
No.
And we're kind of that way with the roof. I can speak for myself when I say that I'm kind of that way with the roof. I'm like, I'm done with it. I just want metal on the building. But you do have to be very patient, and things do take time. And if we rush it, then we're more likely to make mistakes, which then we'd have to go back and it would take more time. So it's just better to take our time, to slow down, to do what we can as we can, and just try our best to live happy lives that are self-sufficient, and also raising our kids in the best manner that we possibly can, while not, neglecting them and their needs because we're so hyper-focused on just building all the time, because It all takes time. So, but yeah, I have gotten to that point though with the building. I really am just so desperate to get the metal on the roof, and I know that Gary is too. There is a very high probability that it is still going to happen before the end of this year. I know that the year is coming to a close very quickly. It would most likely come down to, are we going to hire a company out to put it on for us? Are we going to do it ourselves? And depending on those decisions, how quickly can we get the materials, or can they come and install it? Again, we haven't decided for sure one way or another whether we're going to do it or whether we're going to have somebody else install the metal for us. But we're getting very, very close to finding that out. After today, we might be able to start really
getting a
calling and
eyeball,
yeah,
and figure out exactly, and hopefully get that thing rolling before we get done.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. I mean, it is the holiday season though too, so I'm not like holding my breath if if they're already busy.
But that also brings us to another point. It's the holiday season. Mm-hmm. So that means that we are going to be extremely busy with all the holiday stuff. Everybody's busy. So it's going to be one of those, but I'm perfectly happy and fine with it. Like I said, everybody wants to put on the pressure to get it done. Always. And trust me, I feel the pressure. I might not look like I show it or anything else.
That's just because you're the cool cat.
I tend to try to let it roll off my shoulders, because I didn't move out here to literally physically kill myself and push myself to a point where I don't even want to do this. Yeah. You know what I mean? You have to enjoy what you're doing. And that is the biggest thing. Enjoy what you're doing. Not only that, but the family time and everything else. And tis the season for the family time. Yeah. And for, being able to enjoy each other's company even more so. Yeah. And giving a little bit more, and not focusing on one's needs or wants focusing on others' needs and wants.
Yeah.
You know, so it's, to me, I try to live that throughout my whole life, daily, not
make
just
Christmas
this
all
time.
year round.
It's, you know, so I'm content and I am happy with where I am. I will never be there are times though, like I say, you know, I try not to, but there's times where I'm just like, I'm done. I don't want to. Nope.
And
I'm
then,
done.
and then I find him like an hour or two later coming back from a blind. So it's okay, babe. It's okay. It's all good, man.
But like,
this is our journey. Nobody is going to live it but us.
Correct.
And nobody knows the correct way to live it but us, because it's our journey. So
and like I said, we've got a 5-year goal, and as it sits, that 5-year goal looks very, 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 very like doable.
Oh yeah.
Like what we set ourselves out for 5-year goal. Like you said, I mean, we've already accomplished dang near 70-80% of it. So
I will say,
it was that 5-year goal. When we looked at it, it was all, that's a goal. I don't know, man. Like that's a goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And here we are, 3 years later. Still got 2 years to get to that 5-year goal. Like
I know.
It's dang.
I'm very happy. And look, I think too that just objectively, we decided to do this at a very interesting point in time in history.
That too.
You know, because the whole world was shutting down when we were driving around looking for our property, right? It was peak C-19. The whole world was shut down, you know, locked in their houses and stuff. And Gary and I and the kids were like, let's ride. And so we took off and we went on our road trip looking for land. And then we bought it, and it was 6 or 9 months or something after we bought it. I think it was about 9 months or so after we bought it. We came out here and we moved out here.
Yep.
And as everyone is well aware that from 2021 up until about now, that prices for things have been absolutely outrageous. And we have to make sure that we can balance it and make it work for us and work for our family. And it has so far. I have zero complaints about any of it. But, you know, possibly if things weren't as outrageous, possibly at certain points during this, we might have been able to go a little bit faster. And, you know, but at the same time, I am not complaining in the least bit. We've been able to do this completely debt-free, paying cash as we go.
Yep.
I'm extremely proud of that. Like, that's something that I'm really, really, really proud of. It's been a lot of sacrifice. It hasn't been easy, but it's definitely been worth it this whole time. And I know that going forward, as soon as we finish like ripping the Band-Aid off of these pretty big expenses, depending on how we go about it, like the siding for the house can be one or two ways. It just depends on how we go about that, but that's going to be a pretty big expense. But the only like really big giant like chunk at one time that we have to come out right now is the roof. And then after that, we do have chunks. I'm not going to say that we don't, because
the roof and the siding are the two big chunks.
Big chunks
we're having coming out.
Where it's like we've been pinching pennies and saving and trying to work out as many brand deals and do as much as extra that we could possibly do. And we are good. Like if we need to go and get as soon as we got all of our measurements and as soon as we're good to go, we're getting that roof. Like we made it happen. I'm so proud of us. I'm so happy for it. But that's another thing too to consider, you know? So I'm looking forward to when in the house, you know, there will be big chunks here and there, but it will be nothing like the giant chunk of a roof paying for it right out the gate, you know? No. It'll be like 1,000 here, 1,000 there, which yes, $1,000 is a lot of money. But times that by 10, 15, 20, when you're doing a roof, that's a big, big chunk. You know what I mean? So.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's coming together really good.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with it.
No, I'm very happy with how everything is going, Gary. You're so smart. Without you and your crazy researching and reading and testing and we wouldn't be this far. You know, literally, you've put on so many hats in order to get us to this point. I mean, I will toot my own horn and say I've been a hell of an assistant. You know, I've never left you high and dry, but all of this wouldn't happen without you. You've been a block mason, you've been a plumber, you've been an electrician, you've been a drywall guy. You have framed out everything. You have figured out how to do all of this roofing stuff. And then on top of it, you've been taking on your own personal hobbies that you want to do, like your hunting and learning how to put food on the table with that. We've done gardening. We've done all of the animal husbandry, you know?
Yep.
And then on top of it, still somehow managed to enjoy our life just a little bit, you know? And homeschool and raise the kids and still love each other.
No.
You know? Which is very important.
Yes.
So.
It really is.
Yeah.
But it is coming to that time where I'm going to have to get my brain going.
I could already see the wheel turning.
1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I need another cup of coffee.
Yeah. That's okay. We'll get some more coffee and we'll grab the measuring tape and the notebook and we'll make it happen. Again, friends, I'm not sure what kind of video y'all are going to get tomorrow. If it ends up being us just doing a lot of measuring and stuff, I'll make sure to make it educational so that way you could follow along and see why we're doing what we're doing. I guarantee you we're going to have a lot of people all talk, no action, but it is action. It is action. For real, like it's a very important step in the right direction. So we will see what we can get done and how we can do it. I'm going to do some recording today. Hopefully y'all get a video out tomorrow. And I can't promise, like I can't promise when, as far as like doing real talks and posting uploads and stuff. Our life has been very fluid lately and we've had to kind of just float with it. There's a lot of other things behind the scenes that go on that maybe that you just got to trust that demands our attention. Yeah. And that is what that is. So we do the best that we can. And I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with us and spending your time with us when and if you guys are ever able. We love you guys and we enjoy spending time with you guys. But like Gary said, we got to go.
Yeah, we got to start rolling with it.
Yep. So thank you guys for hanging out with us today and watching today's episode. We'll try to keep uploading more. But until then, friends, we love y'all and we hope you have a good one.
And we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye, you guys.
Later.